Hey, okay, part 3 of my treadmill bush fix is, okay, we got this replacement switch, that's great and all, but it's not very pretty. And for those of you who know me, you know that I like 3D printing, and I have some toys, and there's also, I'm not sure if any of you out there are interested in the space or not, but there's something called Fusion 360, which is the coolest thing, and it's the cloud-based version of AutoCAD for you old timers out there. But this is a super helpful tool to do all your 3D design that you can then put on a 3D printer. So anyway, back to this. So I want to make something prettier for this that we can put on the treadmill and not raunch our fingers out, and it just looks better. So the first step is I just took some measurements. I've gone to paper. Excuse the spill. It's either this alcohol or this alcohol. In any event, so try and figure out how deep this thing is, where the switches are, and then just jotted down some ideas about how I could make this. And I've seen some interesting little cases where you make a clamshell case and you can round the edges. Clamshell meaning you got two parts, and then what I've kind of indicated here in the top of the case is if you can imagine a full sheet of plastic, but all you do is you leave a gap on three sides, what you have is kind of a tab. So these would almost look like laser cuts around it, but with a 3D printer it's easy enough to do. So what I would do is design this, and then it would be printed on the bed of the printer, and it would just leave a tiny little gap, and that would be your top. So if you can envision, this guy would sit inside, and then these tabs, there's enough flex in the plastic that they would actually push these buttons. And then you can go one thing further, is there's some awesome crazy glues out there now where I could either take some pieces of rubber or 3D print some buttons, and you could affix larger buttons that would sit high, and they'd be bigger, more finger-sized rather than these tiny little things on top of this plastic. So stay tuned, and I'll show you where I go with this. It's probably gonna evolve as I go through the process, but this is kind of how I do things.